So earlier today, I had a replacement fuel pump delivered, a Walbro 450 to be exact, and I just got done installing it into the fuel pump housing. Everything is bolted back down. I already turned the key over to see if I do build fuel pressure, and of course I do, but the problem that I'm having is under wide open throttle, the fuel pressure likes to drop. I've already checked through the majority of the lines for any leaks, and there are none. And with regard to my fuel pressure regulator, I am using a pretty much brand new Corvette fuel filter regulator that a lot of LS swap guys run. So I know that this can't be the issue, or at least I would hope it's not the issue, but it is kind of weird because I just replaced the fuel pump, last September? So I'm kind of thinking like, is the fuel pump the source of my issues? But with this fuel pump in, I guess we can take it out for a run and see if we run into the same issue. And of course, because I'm not on a dyno like last time, and given the fact that I don't have a fuel pressure gauge in the car, I've set up my GoPro here on my strut bar to be able to monitor the fuel pressure while we're driving. And because I don't own this gauge, the tuner actually hooked this up for me and said just to return it whenever I pay him a visit again. I definitely think that having a fuel pressure gauge would be beneficial to have. Because of course, if you drop fuel pressure, you'll lean out, and leaning out is never a good thing. Now, if you guys recall, maybe when I first started pulling this thing out of the driveway, a lot of you noticed that there were some lines that were kind of really close to the ground. And those just so happened to be my oil filter relocation lines. Drift Dad had made a nice little bracket where the filter relocation kit could just sit right up against the side of the block. But of course, because the lines are longer than we expected, those were hitting against the ground. So right now, I just quickly removed the bracket. I have it zip tied to make sure that it won't go anywhere. Yeah, don't worry, this metal piece isn't gonna butt up against that heater hose line. It'll be okay. But for now, let's go ahead and take this thing out of the garage and go for a little test drive.
to 5,000 RPM was when we saw the fuel pressure issue. And of course, because I'm out on public roads right now, I don't want to do a fourth gear pull that's probably going to put me somewhere in the range of 90 miles an hour. So hopefully a third gear pull will suffice. Heck, maybe even second gear. Oh man. Yeah, this thing with the power that it's making right now, which is about that estimated 430 wheel, oh man, it's insane.
So fast forward 2 days, I've done a lot of research and I've taken into consideration what a lot of you guys have said, and that is to replace the fuel pressure regulator. So I went ahead and picked one up from O'Reilly's, a brand new Wix. And even though I've mentioned that this thing is fairly new, I guess it won't hurt to replace it and see. I've also ordered an actual fuel pressure gauge that will adapt to the back of the fuel rail here. But that's not gonna ship for another couple days. I did read online that sometimes these mechanical gauges can read all wonky. And I figured before I start getting into the fuel pump wiring, I might as well just replace this fuel pressure regulator and see what it does. New fuel pressure regulators in, and just as an example of what I meant when I said that mechanical gauges can be off, we have 0 pressure in the lines and the gauge is showing about 5 psi. So it's definitely not all that accurate, but either way, on my old fuel pressure regulator setup, I didn't bother using a grounding strap. So I went ahead and hooked one up and grounded it off right on the inside of the engine bay, and hopefully this will do the trick. So I guess we'll go ahead and fire her up and maybe do some free revs to see what fuel pressure we're getting, at least, even though it's not under load. Maybe there is a voltage drop of some sort. So yeah, you saw that for yourself. I'm assuming that it's an electrical issue then. Unless, of course, that mechanical gauge just bounces too much. But either way, I guess we're at the point where I require your guys' input. And that's the beauty of YouTube, because I have all of you guys to help me out with this. But as of now, I'm thinking that I might just have to externally power the fuel pump. And if that's the case, it should be pretty straightforward. But I do want to get this video out for you guys and hopefully get some helpful feedback. In other news, I am trying to come out with videos every other day, so hopefully that's something that you guys can look forward to. And if you could do me a favor, please press that little bell button down below so you can get notifications of when I post. And with that said, thank you guys for watching, thank you for subscribing, and hopefully next time you'll see this thing running 110%. Peace.